Oh, hey, hello. We're live on YouTube. Hello, everybody. Welcome into Candlestick Chronicles. That is a 49ers podcast on the Blue Wire Podcast Network. If you're listening on the podcast, you're going to hear me say that twice. 49ers beat the Panthers 20-9. And I guess we got to start with Brock Purdy throwing the ball to the wrong team a bunch of times, because that was not super encouraging for an offense that is supposedly needing to score 30 points a game the rest of the way.
Yeah, I'm very much not in the camp that, okay, it's time to bench Purdy because Mac Jones is the better option. I think you have to play Brock Purdy because the ceiling is just so much higher when Brock Purdy plays well.
Mm-hmm.
But tonight was absolutely not encouraging. And I think the interceptions are pretty easily explainable. I think the first two were definitely on Purdy. I think the third one was just kind of a crazy play by J.C. Horn, to be honest. But you cannot be late in the middle of the field.
Nope.
And when Brock Purdy was playing at his highest levels in 2023 and 2022, and he was making all of those throws in the middle of the field, it was all predicated on timing and ball placement. Right. And accuracy, he wasn't accurate on those throws. And I think more importantly, they weren't on time. Right. Like, you watch the JT O'Sullivan breakdown of Brock Purdy's plays, and so often he's like, check out this in-breaking route. He's drawing the capital A for the anticipation because Purdy's letting it go before the receiver is making his cut into the middle of the field. And for whatever reason, Purdy just didn't have that same level of anticipation, particularly on the first throw to Jennings, it looked like. And Jennings just doesn't look like he's moving very well. He's never been a burner. And I know, somebody we know said that he thought that Jennings should have came back for it. I think you can definitely make a case, but I think the bigger issue was that Purdy just didn't let the ball rip. He was back there and he was just a beat late on the throw, and the throw was also behind Jennings, and it just allowed Horn to make a pretty easy interception. The other one just seemed like kind of a bad decision. That's like, just throw it to Kittle or just run up the middle.
That was the more concerning thing for me on that, because you knew the timing was going to be off because he had to scramble, he had to step up in the pocket, and then he decides to let this throw go when he had options. He said before the game, he told Lisa Salters before the game that one of the things he learned from watching Mac Jones was to take what the defense gives you. And when he got in trouble last year, it was when he was trying to force throws down the field. And that's what that was. There's no reason in that spot early in the game. There's no reason to try and take a shot to your receiver there when you know when you know you're late. That's something I would like to see different from him moving forward. In fact, we did see it in the second half, but that was, again, I know Shanahan said he was just a little late or whatever is a good decision. He was just like, I would like to see him in that spot take the easy throw, get the first down, and live to fight another down instead of trying to get it all in one throw.
Yeah, and I think the most concerning part too is, like, the toe injury was on his right foot. That's his push-off foot. If he's not confident in his ability to make those throws down the field, then that's potentially a problem.
Yep, big time.
Right? If he can't get the top of his drop, feel fully confident in his ability to get to the top of the drop, make the throw on time, if there's any hesitation, then that's what happens. Like, this is one of Jimmy Garoppolo's biggest problems, was that he threw balls late over the middle of the field. And that just amplifies the likelihood of an interception. You just have to be on time when you're throwing, in between a corner and over a linebacker and in front of a safety, right? Like, there are three players potentially converging on any of these throws. And that was Brock Purdy's superpower, was just fitting those in there, in large part because of his timing, which was a product of his anticipation on top of being accurate. And he didn't have the timing and he didn't have the accuracy. And man, if Brock Purdy can't make those throws, those 15, 20, 25-yard throws to the middle of the field, then that severely dampens how effective he can be. So yeah, that's worrisome. Am I worried that he's never going to get back to, what he was? I'm not super worried, but at the same time it's a little bit concerning because you did just give him a $53 million contract, and we know how quickly confidence can just become an issue for starting quarterbacks in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that Purdy does not, for the 49ers sake, like I hope Purdy isn't all of a sudden like gun shy and like, oh man, I don't feel great up pushing off my right foot where I had this toe injury and I got to rip this pass, but I got to think about it for a second longer. And now I'm throwing interceptions. It's like, nah, man, you just got to let it rip. You can't think about the toe. And if he's thinking about the toe, then that's a problem.
Yeah, I agree. I have no idea if that's what it was, but it's something the 49ers are going to have to figure out because giving the ball away 3 times is not a good way to win most games. They got pretty lucky tonight that Carolina's offense is kind of ass, but that's not something they can continue moving forward. So I'm interested to see what it looks like, particularly next week against Cleveland. Cleveland has a significantly better defense and a better pass rush than Carolina does, and man, if Purdy's not comfortable or he's not moving right, it could get ugly again. And if he has another 2, 3, 4 interceptions in a game, I think the Mac Jones stuff gets really, really loud.
Yeah.
Particularly externally.
Definitely externally. I don't think Kyle Shanahan is really... Kyle Shanahan certainly called the game a different way in the second half, but he was protecting a lead.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know how much to read into the play calling aspect of it. Because... man, if Kyle Shanahan has to do what he did with Jimmy Garoppolo and just dial plays that aren't aggressive at all, and he's like, if Kyle Shanahan is worried that Brock Purdy is going to throw a bunch of these interceptions, then that's a problem. That's a problem because Kyle Shanahan ultimately wanted to move off a quarterback who caused him to worry in those ways, right?
Sure.
And so that's not what you want. Again, like I need probably like a week or two, or maybe depending on how it goes in Cleveland, and then maybe after the bye against Tennessee before I'm like, all right, it's time to make a switch at quarterback. If it's 2 more games like this and he's throwing, 1 touchdown and 3 picks against Cleveland and against Tennessee after the bye week, then that's really problematic. Because tonight, I thought tonight should have been a pretty, I don't want to say an easy win, but like a pretty straightforward win for the Niners. And it probably would have been had Brock not thrown those interceptions. But coming off of last week where I'm like, all right, that's kind of like preseason week 3, like getting a rhythm, get a little bit of football underneath you and then like start playing well, right? That was the whole thing. It was like, can you just start playing well so you can hit the stretch run, get hot a little bit, and then maybe be a factor and scare a team if you have to go on the road in the playoffs. It's hard to feel like a win is a win, but it's hard to feel like you're taking steps in that direction in a game where Brock Purdy's throwing 3 picks to the Carolina Panthers at home.
Yeah, we're used to seeing the 49ers play their best football, and they took a step backwards this week, I thought.
Yeah.
It was a win is a win is a win. You needed the NFC victory. That's big for a tiebreaker. You get the tiebreaker over Carolina specifically, who's now 2 games behind you with 5 to play. So you're ostensibly up 3 games on another team vying for a playoff spot. That's big. But man, in terms of building confidence that they can go into Cleveland and win, or that they can go into Indianapolis in week 15 and win, or week 16, is that? Yeah, week 16. Or beat Chicago at home, or go and beat Seattle at home. Like, it's hard to have confidence in the 49ers to do those things after the way they played today. Or specifically, I shouldn't say the way they played. It's specifically the way Brock Purdy played today.
There are no scenarios where you're going to win a playoff game if your quarterback's throwing 3 interceptions. It's just not going to happen. Not with this version of the 49ers defense. Because you're not going to be playing quarterbacks like Bryce Young. Like, Bryce Young was terrible. I thought Dave Canales was
really bad.
I thought Dave Canales was terrible. I thought the decision to kick that 57-yard field goal, which looked like a shank, I don't remember ever seeing a field goal just like 10 yards short and wide on one. It like wasn't blocked and there wasn't anything crazy that happened. The kicker just like shanked it. It almost looked like he hit it off his shin. I don't know.
I
But
loved one of the things on the broadcast tonight that they were doing was every time the Panthers did something bad, whether it was an overthrow or that missed kick, they were like, it must have been tipped. There's just no way. Let's get a shot and see if that ball got tipped. Nope, just missed it. Like, man.
just missed it.
Anyways.
Benali.
Benali P.
Benali P. All right. She's in the chat. So I sincerely apologize for butchering your name. She said, turned it over 3 times today in rapid succession and still ripped it to Kittle afterwards. Honestly wish he was a bit gun shy. I'm just I mean, like, from a confidence standpoint, like, just don't hesitate. Like, if you're going to make that throw, make it at the top of your drop, throw it with anticipation like you usually do. Don't do the thing where you wait a beat late and then all of a sudden that window closes, or you throw it behind the guy and allow the cornerback to come make the play. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't have a problem with the decision. I just, like, if you're making that decision, make it on time.
Right.
And like, maybe it's a rust thing. It can go either way for me. Like, maybe it's just a rust thing. Maybe it's the fact that he hasn't played very much, or maybe it's the fact that he's not fully confident in his ability to rip those throws with, a bum toe on his push off foot, his right foot. So that's,
maybe.
Like, I just don't, even if Brock Purdy doesn't play well, I would rather try Brock Purdy in a chance where, like, for the opportunity to get like a good Brock Purdy game than like throw Mac Jones out there in a must-win scenario. I just think the defense is so bad that you have to, like, all right, we have to take a big swing, and the big swing at this point is Brock Purdy, not Mac Jones, who what the ceiling is with your offense.
Yeah. I want to mention something because Christian McCaffrey had a very productive day today. It's 24 carries, I believe it was 7 receptions on 7 targets. He had a rushing touchdown. And our guy Bryce in the chat says, Shanahan is going to kill CMC with his work rate. I would like to know the alternative. No, I'm serious. I get so I will fully buy it. McCaffrey got a carry after Carolina missed the field goal. Unnecessary. He doesn't need to be on the field at that point. You're up 11. There's 2:42 to go. If you don't have any running backs that you trust to hold on to the football, then get new running backs. You drafted one who's a healthy scratch, and you have 2 other guys on the bench, or Kyle Juszczyk can carry it. There's no use for that. And I thought the additional touch at the end of the first half with 3 seconds left, if you want to dump one off to somebody, pick literally any other member of the team. Like, there's just but those are little, like, 2 or 3 touches that I'm talking about. The rest of them, I don't know what the alternative is, because he is by far their best offensive player.
And the crazy thing about how good he is, and I think we've made this point throughout the season, but like, the NFL Twitter account or X account posted a video of like some highlights he had with the Panthers, and you just watch those. He used to be so much more explosive than he is right now.
Yeah.
And this isn't like, I don't think he's washed or anything. He's obviously still an elite player, and he's so good that he can lose however much explosiveness he's lost since he's been on the Panthers and still be, leading the NFL in scrimmage yards. Like, that's a testament to the type of player he is. But man, he does not have anywhere near the juice that he had earlier in his career.
Yeah.
And I think it's fair to wonder if, like, man, if Christian McCaffrey is getting 350, 400 touches in the regular season, what's he going to have for the playoffs?
Yeah.
At this stage in his career.
I mean, I don't hate that, but it's also, again, okay, you want to save him for the playoffs, you're probably not making it. Honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, he's still great. Like, he's still their most important offensive. He's probably their team MVP. I mean, he has to be their team MVP, and it's probably not even close.
Yeah.
But I think the overall lack of like explosive plays, I think it's just he's just not that type of athlete anymore.
Yeah, you've seen it. How many times this year? It feels to me like 12 to 15. You've seen him get into the open field and you're like, oh, he might be gone. And then he's brought down 4 yards later. It's like, oh,
yeah.
Oh, he just doesn't have that gear anymore. It's just not there.
And even like I saw somebody posted the highlight tonight from the Super Bowl against the Chiefs 2 years ago, and the Juwan Jennings throwback play to him where he scored the touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
He was considerably faster then than he is now. Yeah. So this isn't like a Christian McCaffrey is washed take. I don't think he's washed. I just think the explosiveness and the athleticism isn't at the same level as it was.
No.
And that I'm curious to see what that looks like as the season goes on, because it feels like the level of difficulty for the 49ers is going to increase substantially if they want to make a run in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I don't think their defense is built for that type of run, which is why my bet would be like, all right, we're going to try to play Brock Purdy because the ceiling of the offense is so much higher than it is with Mac Jones if we're not going to have a good defense.
Yeah.
We need to take a big swing offensively. And to me, that's what Brock Purdy feels like right now.
I thought, speaking of their defense, I thought the Panthers bailed them out in a big way today. It seemed like every time one of their running backs touched the ball, they were getting 10 yards. And that bears itself out. What were the 9 rushes for 54 yards for their running backs? Well, 6 yards a carry. Is that right? 9 for 54.
9 for 54.
Yeah. 6 yards a pop, and they ran it 9 times with their running backs.
Yeah,
that's so wild.
That's kind of what, like, when you talk about Dave Canales being terrible tonight, like he called 9 running plays to their running backs. They had 13 runs total. Bryce Young had 4 runs, I think.
All scrambles.
Three of them were scrambles, at least, yeah. And then 29 passing attempts.
The first and goal from the first interception to Jair Brown, what is he doing?
I don't know,
They brought in 19 offensive linemen, and they go play action boot, and their quarterback tries to force it into a window that was never there.
Yeah.
Like, how are you not telling him, like, hey, run this, and if it doesn't work, throw it into the 10th row?
The fact that Brock Purdy threw 3 straight interceptions in the first half, and the Panthers only scored 3 points.
Just brutal.
So yeah, like that game against a good team, there's a very good chance that the 49ers lose that game pretty decidedly if your quarterback throws interceptions on 3 straight possessions. That's a great recipe to lose. I do think like the Niners pass rush isn't really any good. I do think their secondary is like playing at a pretty reasonable level, or at least it did tonight.
I agree with
the secondary is by far the strength of the defense right now. Like Malik Mustafa will hit you if he takes the right angle and doesn't overrun the play. D Winters has been mostly solid all year. Diamondor Lenore has been really good. Renardo Green's been like, he hasn't been like amazing, but he hasn't been terrible. I would say he's been kind of like an above average starter. And I think you have to like what you've seen from Jair Brown tonight. I think it's fair to say was his best game. I think you and I have been pretty hard on Jair Brown for the most part. I think a lot of it's kind of deserved because he hadn't been that good.
We've been hard on Jair Brown, and we were right.
But he was good. He was really good tonight. 2 interceptions, flying around, like making a bunch of plays. He was really good tonight. I still think it's crazy that Marquise Siegel just got benched for reasons that are still sort of unknown. But yeah, the strength of the defense is definitely the secondary. I just have no idea how they're going to be able to slow down a good quarterback. Like what all this stuff about the Niners schedule this year, like coming in, like that's an insanely easy schedule. It's pretty much borne out, man. Like they've played a lot of just bad quarterbacks.
Yeah. Yeah. And every like competent quarterback they've faced, Baker Mayfield, CJ Stroud, Matthew Stafford, has diced them. Yeah. I think that's kind of the reality that they're facing. But again, the fact that I go back to, I keep going back to this, the fact that they're 8-4, given the various calamities they've suffered this season, and given the fact that I think they had 4 healthy scratches in their rookie class today, with Michael Williams, their first round pick, also out for the year. Like it is pretty remarkable that they got to 8-4 and have an inside track for a playoff spot.
Yeah.
Which is,
I don't know. Is it an inside? I guess it's an inside track. 8-4 in the 7th seed. They're half a game up on Detroit. They do have the tiebreaker over Carolina, and Dallas is down there at 10th at 5-5-1. And then they have the tiebreaker over Atlanta, who's 11th at 4-7. So yeah, I guess.
And they have.
I guess they do have an inside track.
They're now 8-2 in the conference,
which is wild.
Whereas Seattle 4-3, Detroit 4-3, Carolina 4-3. Yeah, so they're 8-2 in the conference, and I say inside track because I think if they have 2 winnable games coming up, Cleveland and Tennessee, they'll be favored in both those games. I think 10 probably gets you in, and if it doesn't, you got to win one of your final 3 against Indy, Chicago, and Seattle. It's all kind of there for them. Like it's all set up for them to make the postseason.
Are you ready for the Shedeur Sanders start against the Niners in the snow? Brock Purdy. There's going to be.
It's going to snow.
I saw somebody say it's going to. Let me check the weather. Cleveland.
Yeah, as you say, you can't just throw that out there all willy nilly.
Forecast. 10-day forecast.
Hey, that's the oldest thing you've ever done, because if you just Google Cleveland,
AM snow showers.
Oh man.
AM snow showers.
Oh, that's tough.
35% chance precipitation.
Yeah, but by 1 p.m. we're at 25%. And I've got light rain here. I've got light rain, not snow.
The point being, like, Cleveland's got a really good defense. The weather's going to be bad. Brock Purdy's coming off a 3-interception game. Shedeur Sanders is on the other side. Like, there's going to be some takes coming out of that game.
Discourse.
the discourse is going to be on fire after that game, and no matter how it goes.
Is this the Discourse Bowl this weekend?
the Discourse Bowl. Oh man.
Yeah, hey, dude. I just overall, yeah. No, go ahead. Let's talk about the thing you were going to talk about.
Yeah, real quick. I should have done this beforehand. I apologize.
Yeah, you definitely should have. Benali said something in the chat that jumped out to me that I am now going to look up. And that is the last time the 49ers won in Cleveland.
While you look that up.
I cannot remember them doing it in my life. But right. I also don't remember everything. I do remember our good friends at Lamb Chops.
Okay, thank you. sglambchops.com is the website. Lamb Chops is our favorite clothing brand. Yeah, was traveling a lot for work the last 10 days or so. I think I wore like 4 different Lamb Chops hoodies on the trip. I'm wearing one right now, the Candlestick Chronicles merchandise. If you guys are streaming on YouTube, you will see it. It's incredible. It is available at sglambchops.com. If you just throw Candlestick in the search bar, we have t-shirts, we have hoodies. I mean, I wear this stuff all the time, man. I love it. It's basically like we've been going through the closets and rearranging the closets and all that. I think I have like 12 Lamb Chops hoodies. Like not even kidding. Like just a lot of them. And I'm not getting rid of any of them anytime soon because they are the best. So make sure you go to sglambchops.com. Use promo code Candlestick20 to save 20% off of your order. And Follow them on their social channels at SG Lamb Chops. Join the herd.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go through my Prize Picks lineup.
Oh,
and
man.
This is just horrendous podcasting by me because I don't have the read up. Okay, I have the read up. Let's go.
Babe. Fix it in post.
Hey, Kyle, this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. The hard-hitting football action is even better with Prize Picks. The weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old, so keep the season rolling on Prize Picks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Man, so I had a 6-pick flex play, and if Brock Purdy didn't throw the second interception to Ricky Pearsall, and that was a touchdown, your boy would have been in the money. And I'm a little upset about that. And I'm also a little bit upset at Bryce Young for how terrible he was and how Ted McMillan just had 35 yards, just letting me and so many other people down. Christian McCaffrey, the more than 124.5, that was a layup. That one hit. Ricky Pearsall, I had the demon play for more than half of a touchdown. That did not hit because of the interception. Ted McMillan did score a touchdown, which hit, but he only had 35 yards. So I had the more than 65.5. Did not hit. I had more than 1.5 passing touchdowns for Brock Purdy. He only had 1. Bryce Young, I had more than half of a passing touchdown. So I only get 3 out of 6. Not in the money this week, but we will get back on the horse next week. So make sure you download the Prize Picks app today and use code Candlestick to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code Candlestick to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right.
I got a 3 out of 4 on my Prize Picks lineup.
Nice, dude. You in the money?
Yeah, man. Yeah. It was it just did a little light action. I had Christian McCaffrey more than 43.5 receiving yards, cleared that easy. I had Brian Robinson more than 23.5 rushing yards, he cleared that easy. I had George Kittle on the demon play more than 5.5 receptions, he finished with 6. But I went with Bryce Young. He's coming off a 450-yard passing day against Atlanta. I thought he could get me 204 passing yards. And he did not. 169. So 3 out of 4. Got my money back in a little bit.
Attaboy.
Shout out to the flex play.
Shout out to the flex play. Been riding with flex play this year after so many power plays. Last year.
That's my guy.
Yeah. We have not spoken on this podcast about the Brandon Ayuk situation. I actually did. I recorded a video on Saturday and just kind of decided not to publish it. And the reason why I decided not to publish it was because I did a lot of speculating, and my speculating was kind of about like a lot of serious stuff. And I just didn't really feel comfortable. Like sometimes I feel like it's kind of irresponsible to just be like, basically like, I think there's more to the situation than what is out there. And I think there's a distinct possibility that Brandon Ayuk is in a bad way. And I just know, there are so many cases with football players, pro football players who just like really go through it in a myriad of ways off the field, in their personal lives, relationships, whatever it may be. And I don't know anything about this situation in particular, but my concern is that it's something like that, right? That it's something like the stuff you hear about football players going through this crazy stuff for whatever reason. Like, and I don't want to speculate like irresponsibly, but I think when we talk about this subject in particular, we have to be cognizant of the fact that maybe some stuff is like that is going on, because honestly, if I'm forming an opinion, it's kind of the only thing that makes sense because this is bad for everybody involved. It's bad for the Niners. It's bad for Brandon Ayuk. And the only thing that seems to make sense logically is that what like Brandon Ayuk is going through some weird stuff, and that it's just turning into a really unfortunate situation. And I'm worried about Brandon Ayuk, but the person, the human being, because I don't think this is just like, oh, this is just out of pride and dude's just fumbling the bag because he wants to like play for another team, blah, blah, blah. Like, I think there's some stuff going on. And again, this is just me speculating, and I'm trying not to do it irresponsibly, but I just think it's a really difficult subject that's like you haven't seen a ton of reporting on it, right? Like, and it's been pointed out to us that like a lot of the big players in the NFL media space have not touched this subject.
Right.
And that's really notable to me. Like, the news that the Niners voided his contract has been out there, but you're not hearing, it hasn't become a huge story because of Schefter and Rappaport and all of these people talking about it. And I think that was a really strong point that was brought up to us, that like there might be some other stuff going on that we don't know about and that nobody else can relate to, and that this might just be like a really tricky situation. And I just hope for the best for everyone involved, and that it's not you just hear some like terrible stuff about football players and athletes and mental health and trauma and all this stuff. Like, I just hope it's, it doesn't veer in that direction, and everyone comes out of this okay.
Yep. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I agree.
Like, it's crazy that it got to this point, and it sucks, and hopefully it leads to like a positive resolution for everybody involved. But like, the fact that Brandon Ayuk is like the Niners basically said he wasn't honoring his contract, and there's no fight from Brandon Ayuk's side. Like, typically this is like a league or a players association grievance. Like, this is what the players association lawyers are like there for.
Yeah, like, you don't get guaranteed money in the NFL. So a team waiving a player's guaranteed money is a major thing.
And the player just being cool with it.
Right. This didn't happen because the Niners went, hey, you know what? We don't like his contract anymore. We're just going to do this. And this didn't, you said it. None of this logically makes sense for either side. If the 49ers wanted to get rid of Brandon Ayuk, they would get him back on the field. They would build up his trade value, and then they would trade him. If it was as easy as Brandon Ayuk just wanted out of San Francisco, he wouldn't allow them to waive his $26 million in guarantees just so they could release him, just so he could then go somewhere else to make less money. Because that's right. What's going to happen is he's going to make way less money.
Right.
And it just, none of this makes sense. Having a hard take either way on it's the 49ers' fault, it's Kyle Shanahan's fault, it's Brandon Ayuk's fault, it's Brandon Ayuk's representation's fault. There is not enough out there yet that makes me think hard one way or the other about anything, because this isn't a story that happens. And you said it, everybody's very, 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 very quiet on this thing remember, when Brandon Ayuk was going through his contract negotiation, everything he did was a story. Oh, he unfollowed this person on Instagram. He followed this person on Instagram. Oh, he wants to be traded to this team. He wants to be traded to that team. This team made an offer. That team made an offer. This team made an offer, but he doesn't want to go there. Like, every little thing was in the media.
Wearing the wrong shorts to practice.
Wearing the wrong shorts. It just doesn't. Something is not right here, and I'm right there with you. I can't. Like I said, I know it's the media thing to do, to get on the microphone and say the 49ers have screwed this up, or Brandon Ayuk is selfish, whatever. But I can't, because the dots don't connect. There's something not right here, and the whole story's not out.
Yeah.
Is how it seems.
I mean, the only thing we really know is that there's just been a lot of super erratic behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And like that's really all that there is to know. And that's just like it's often, and again, I'm not saying that's what's happening. It's just my concern is erratic behavior like is a sign of something. A
Mm-hmm.
sign of something negative happening with that person.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's as simple as, oh, this dude fumbled the bag, or
No,
oh, the Niners like want to trade him and he's just upset about it. Like I think it is I think there's a good chance that it's much deeper than that.
I agree.
So anyway, I don't, you know, it's a really tough thing to talk about because if put it this way, like you said, everything involving Brandon Ayuk and his relationship with the 49ers last year was heavily reported on.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's like nothing. It like
It is
came to a head.
silence.
It came to a head in July. This recent report was about something that happened in July.
Right.
It's Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
So like when you're a reporter and you're privy to super sensitive information, you handle that much differently than information that's just like, oh, this person's like doing this and it pissed this person off and this person feels that way about it, blah blah blah. Like when there's like deep stuff happening, that's when reporters are very like cagey with how they're doing their jobs. And like if there's a very sensitive thing happening, the responsible reporters are not just going to jump all over it and report everything they hear. And that's why it's very notable that like this guy had his guaranteed money voided basically, and there's like been honestly like one report about it, and Kyle Shanahan saying, I don't want to talk about this at a press conference.
Yeah.
Like Shanahan confirmed the stuff, but he said, he is like, yeah, the press conference is not the setting to talk about what's happening here.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that's just like it's just, I don't know. It's just like a lot of red flags, and I just hope Brandon Ayuk's okay. Um, I hope everything. I just hope what I'm fearing is not the case, I guess is the way to say it.
Yeah. Yeah. Would love to find out that he hates the 49ers so much that he didn't want to appeal the guaranteed money because he wants to sign somewhere else and he's just so miserable in the Bay Area he can't wait to leave. Would love if it's that.
Right.
If it's that easy. But
If it was just simple like that and he just hated it and wanted to leave, then that's fine.
right. But if that was the case, then he would get back on the field. He'd be communicating with the team. Kyle Shanahan said that he's not really communicating. He would get back on the field and try and build his trade value so he could get traded this offseason, not setting $26 million on fire. It just doesn't.
Yeah, man.
There's
it sucks.
It's off. It's off.
It's weird. So now, I mean, if we're spinning it forward to, the football side of it, for a while, at least during the first half of the season, before this stuff started bubbling up, it was like, all right, get Ricky Pearsall back, get Brandon Ayuk back. You still have George Kittle, you still have Christian McCaffrey. Brock Purdy gets back, gets comfortable. Okay, this is like still a really high ceiling offense potentially.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. Like Ricky Pearsall has not been as effective as he was earlier in the season. I don't know if that's the knee or rust or both.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't.
It doesn't help that his quarterback's throwing late to him.
Well, sure. Like irrespective of Brock Purdy's interceptions, it's just, man, they're 8-4, but it's just hard to feel great about the direction of this team right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. It feels like just this fight to can they make the playoffs just to say they did it. But this season's been a wrap since Fred Warner got hurt. That was just kind of the fact they've kept it interesting is a small miracle. The fact that they've kept it interesting has led us to be like, oh, how do they surprise someone in the playoffs? And it's they got to score 30 a game. And man, given how tonight went, it's hard to see them hitting that groove. But they have 5 more games to go.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing for them, like if we want to be optimistic about it,
Mm-hmm.
Rams are probably going to be the 1 seed. So, in the first round of the playoffs, Niners wouldn't have to play the Rams, doesn't look like.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't love their chances going to Philadelphia, but like for the Niners to win in Philly against this version of the Eagles, I don't think would be completely insane.
No,
And
that has more to do with the Eagles for me than it does the 49ers, though.
oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But like the point here is like, all right, the Eagles are the 2 seed, the Bears are the 3 seed, Tampa Bay and super banged up Baker Mayfield are the 4 seed, Seattle's the 5 seed, Green Bay's the 6 seed, Niners are the 7 seed. Like the only team that I look at like feeling like the 49ers would have just almost no chance of winning, which is kind of crazy to say because they've beaten the Rams, but it's the Rams. Like I don't see a scenario like you watch what the Rams did to Tampa Bay yesterday. I
Yeah,
don't see
dude,
a
they're
scenario
just.
where the Niners go to LA with this defense and have any sort of shot against the Rams.
I would agree with you. The division games are always weird, and playing a team a third time is always weird. But just from a football perspective, it's so hard to see it. Like we've seen the Eagles lay eggs, right?
Yeah.
They were up 21-0 on the Cowboys, and yeah, nice.
Nice.
Animal
joke.
anatomy. So we've seen the Eagles go up 21-0 on the Cowboys and lose 24-21. Like we've seen them lose to the New York Giants. Like we've seen them have these weird losses in division games, oddly enough. But it's like, yeah, sure. If you told me that Philadelphia just kind of face planted on offense and scored 14 points and the Niners won 17-14, sure, man. Fine. You tell me that happens against the Rams, like, ugh. Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
A
But
world
the
where the
point
Niners
here,
beat the Rams is one where Matthew Stafford is not available for a large portion or all of the game.
right. The point here is like the Rams, I think, are in their own tier. I kind of think the Eagles. Actually, I think the Eagles and Seahawks are probably in the same tier, just in the NFC.
You're stepping
But
on my
you're
radio bit, but go ahead.
well, but you're not gonna play. You're not gonna play the Seahawks because they're gonna be a wild card team.
Mm-hmm.
So in the first round, you're looking at Philly, Chicago, Tampa Bay, maybe Green Bay,
Maybe Detroit.
maybe Detroit. Like
Detroit's
if the
the other
Niners,
one. Detroit's the other one, though. I don't think the 49ers are going to Detroit and winning. Detroit would score
has
100 fucking points.
they have a super high ceiling. I just don't know how much I trust them at this point.
I don't trust Jared Goff when you can pressure him, and I don't think the 49ers would even lay a
That's
hand
fair.
on him.
That's
And
fair.
then Jahmyr Gibbs is rushing for 150 yards.
Jahmyr Gibbs is probably the most concerning
He rules.
aspect of
He's
a Niners
so fun.
Lions game. But you look at the current standings, like I think they could beat Philly. They could definitely beat Chicago. I think they could beat Tampa, particularly if Baker's banged up. Seattle would be really tough, but I think that would have to be an NFC Championship game if for them to play in the playoffs if Seattle's a wild card team. I think they could beat Green Bay. Green Bay's 7-3-1, but I think they could beat them. Like
I don't buy Green Bay even a little bit.
Yeah, like with the exception of the Rams and like Philly playing well is obviously problematic, but they just don't seem to play well all that often. Like I think the Niners are kind of toss up matchups with a lot of these teams in the playoffs. So like we can be pessimistic maybe relative to like 2023, right? Like 2023, yeah. I was like this is like 2023 felt like the best 49ers team since 1994 to me. Mm-hmm. With just how completely loaded they were offensively, how elite they were defensively, so balanced, and it just felt like, all right, that is a juggernaut of a team. I am not optimistic that the 49ers can get anywhere near to that level right now. And that sounds like, but that's what it would take to win a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. But I do think if they get to the playoffs, they could hang with or beat any of these teams with the exception of the Rams in the first round. And maybe Detroit.
Yeah. Like I need to see what it because last week I would have agreed with you, but after this week, I'm less inclined to think they can go on the road and beat any kind of quality team, because I just watched them struggle at home against the Carolina Panthers, who lost to the Saints by 10 2 weeks ago. So I'm gonna withhold judgment until I see how the 49ers play in December. I'm in wait and see mode, Chris.
Fair.
Only time will tell.
Yeah. Are you aware of? Hold on. Are you aware of what's happening between the Sacramento Kings and Minnesota Timberwolves at the moment?
Yeah, I've got half an eye on it.
Okay. Currently in overtime, my wife's been making noises in the other room, and I was concerned for a second, but she sent me a text just saying, "Oh, she's watching the Kings game." Big Kings fan over here in this household, apparently.
Huge Kings fan.
Just the wife's
just locked in on these Keegan Murray minutes.
Die hard. So happy to see Keegan back in action. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have anything else. It was a good win because it was a win, but it was a little discouraging from the standpoint of Brock Purdy doesn't look like Brock Purdy, or at least a good version of Brock Purdy.
Sure. I agree with you. I have a stat for you.
I love when you have stats for me.
Did you know that, oh, by the way, the 49ers are 3-11 all time in Cleveland, and their last win was in 1984 in Cleveland.
1984?
It's the last time they won in Cleveland.
I remember them going in there with like Chris Winkie. Did that happen?
Sure. In like 07?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they lost to Johnny Manziel with, I think, Blaine Gabbert. And then they lost that one a couple of years ago when Jake Moody missed the game winner.
Yeah, that was a rough game. Christian McCaffrey left that game early. Trent Williams left that game early, I think.
Yeah, and they still almost had a chance to win. The stat I have for you is Clelin Ferrell grabbed his second sack of the year tonight, moving him into a tie for second place on the 49ers. He is tied with Sam Okuwanu and Nick Bosa, who hasn't played since week 4, and Clelin Ferrell just played in his second game.
Their pass rush is so bad.
Their team leader has 4. Myles Garrett, they now have, thanks to Clelin Ferrell's sack tonight, they now have the same amount of sacks this season that Myles Garrett has in the last 4 weeks.
He has 18 sacks in 11 games.
He has 13 in the last 4 weeks.
Jesus Christ. That's wild. That's really wild. That'll be interesting. That'll be interesting to see how they maneuver that one. Browns defense, second in total yardage, 12th in scoring. Elite passing defense, 10 interceptions. Man.
Couple of good running backs. Oh, God. The 49ers are losing by multiple scores. I already hit it next week.
They're 3-8. What's going to be
10 a.m. kick? That's big for us.
What's going to be, I mean, I don't have any strong feelings about Shedeur Sanders. But I feel like I'm going to come out of the game with very strong feelings about Shedeur Sanders one way or another.
Don't hate that take. I don't hate that one bit.
So, but like, if you're upset about like what he says in interviews, like go touch grass, man. Like, who cares?
I'm so serious.
Like
seriously,
the guy, like, he's lived a very charmed life. Sure. He's an NFL quarterback who thrives off confidence. Like, let him enjoy his confidence. Like, who cares?
Somebody today said, I'm rooting for him. I just wish he was more humble. Fucking why?
Who cares?
What does that change?
We don't have to care what athletes say in interviews. We really don't.
No, not even a little bit.
I wish networks would stop caring what athletes and coaches said. I am so tired of the halftime coaches interview where
I can't believe
the coach.
I honest to God can't believe they still do it.
Yeah, we got to be better on third down. I wish we converted our opportunities in the red zone, but I like the way our defense is playing. We just got to capitalize on our opportunities. All right, thanks, coach.
Literally
great. Wow. Stellar.
Every
stuff.
Every halftime interview. You got to take care of the ball better in the second half. If we do that, I think we'll be all right. Awesome. Thanks, coach.
We just can't be turning the ball over. We got to be better on third down. I mean, converting in the red area, it's
the red area. Fuck off.
Anyway, Thanksgiving week, you and I have not talked about scheduling.
Nope, and we're not going to talk about it on this podcast.
We're not going to, but Thanksgiving's the best holiday. Do you have any strong holiday Thanksgiving takes? You're a Christmas guy.
We are 51 minutes in, and I have so many things to do. We can talk about this on a different podcast.
What's your favorite Thanksgiving pie?
Apple.
Okay, that's fair enough.
I am a Christmas
pumpkin
guy.
pie. Yeah, that tracks. I don't know what that means. I just said that tracks.
That tracks, you piece of shit.
Season of cheer. Gosh. All right. That's all we got. Subscribe, rate, and review. Please, if you're watching with us on YouTube as we live stream, we really, really appreciate it. Subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, be part of the discourse, notification bells, all those things. If you're listening anywhere on where you listen to this on the podcast.
Wherever you get your podcast.
Subscribe wherever you get your podcast. I'm a professional podcaster. Wherever you get your podcast, subscribe, leave a 5-star review. We'd very much appreciate it.
And if listen, then maybe wherever you want to listen to this on a podcast.
It's been a long week.
A huge
Monday.
W for the Kings. Look at the Kings go.
Did the Kings win?
Yeah, it's a big time dub for our guys. 117-112 over the Wolves. Oh, wait, no, not. Oh boy, this is tough for us.
What happened?
Our Kings facing our Wolves. Our big lamb chops guys who have partnered.
Yeah. Wow, Timberwolves shot 41%.
Our Kings defense, Keegan Murray's back, baby.
I'm sure it was all the Kings defense and not any open shots missed by Minnesota.
You think the parade will go down J?
That's Capitol Mall, dude.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Capitol Mall. I mean, maybe you go down J and then swing around the Capitol Mall.
Yeah, like that's where it all ends.
They're probably not going to. Yeah, they'll probably do it in front of the state capitol.
Yeah, that's where the big all the speeches will be.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I think
they probably wouldn't go make it to the Tower Parade.
I think you could go staging area there at Sac State, and then
State.
Yeah, and then start the parade all the way down J because the entire
that's the longest parade ever.
I know the entire city's coming out. We're gonna need room, dogs.
I think the entire city could
all the way
start in
J.
Midtown.
But you're gonna get to Alhambra and you're gonna have to hang a right.
I think you could probably start the parade at 16th down J and then loop it around Capitol. But anyway.
All
right.
I'm all
Subscribe,
done.
rate, review, like and comment, notification bells. We'll talk to you guys later in the week. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Hope everyone's enjoying their time with their family and loved ones and eating some great food. And we'll talk to you guys later in the week to preview 49ers and Cleveland Browns and Shedeur Sanders. See ya.
Hell yeah.